In 2024, a major English-language newspaper published an analysis of housing affordability across 12 cities in 4 countries. The conclusion: in 11 of the 12 cities, a household earning the median income could not afford the median-priced home at standard mortgage qualification criteria. 11 out of 12. This is not a local problem, not a temporary problem, not a problem caused by one policy decision. It is a structural problem that has been building for decades, and that most coverage still won't describe directly. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what the data says. No political framing, no blame, just the structural forces, the numbers, and what has and hasn't worked in markets that have tried to address it. Stay with me. Before I show you the structural forces, I need to explain why most housing coverage misses the full picture. Housing coverage tends to focus on symptoms: rising prices, unaffordable rents, homeless figures. It rarely names the structural causes directly, because the structural causes involve decisions made by governments, investors, planners, over decades, that benefited some people significantly, and that those people have an interest in maintaining. This video is not about blame. It is about understanding what actually drives the numbers, so that the numbers make sense. Here's the twist. The housing affordability crisis is not primarily a personal finance problem. It is a structural supply and demand problem that personal finance decisions cannot fully solve. Understanding that distinction changes what solutions are realistic and which ones are not. Now the 3 structural forces. Force 1. Supply has chronically underdelivered. In most major English-speaking cities, housing construction has not kept pace with population growth and household formation. For decades, the reasons are structural. Zoning that restricts density, planning processes that add years to approvals, community resistance to new development, construction industry capacity constraints. The result is a structural shortage that pushes prices up, regardless of what interest rates do or what buyers can afford. Force 2. Housing became an investment asset class. In previous generations, most residential property was owner-occupied. Over the past 3 decades, residential property has increasingly been held as an investment asset by individuals owning multiple properties, by corporations, by funds. This investment demand competes with owner-occupiers and operates differently. Investors can accept lower yields when they expect capital appreciation. This pushes prices above what income-based owner-occupier demand alone would support. Force 3. Monetary policy amplified both forces. When interest rates were near zero for over a decade, borrowing was cheap. Buyers and investors could pay more. So they did. Prices rose to absorb cheap credit. When rates rose sharply from 2022, prices didn't fall proportionally because the underlying shortage remained, but monthly costs rose dramatically, creating the worst combination. High prices built on cheap credit, now carrying expensive credit costs. Here's the most important twist. These 3 forces operated simultaneously. In the US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, across different policy environments, different governments, different planning systems. The fact that the crisis looks similar across all of these countries suggests that the causes are structural, not primarily the result of any one policy decision. What has actually worked? In markets that have tried to address affordability, supply-side responses have shown the most consistent results. Cities and regions that significantly increased housing supply through zoning reform, faster approvals, incentivized construction, have seen better affordability outcomes than those that focused primarily on demand-side measures. Demand-side measures. First home buyer grants, stamp duty concessions, deposit schemes have generally helped individual buyers access the market, but have not reduced prices overall because they increase purchasing power without increasing supply, sometimes pushing prices up further. What hasn't worked consistently? Price controls, rent caps without supply increases, foreign buyer restrictions alone, without addressing the underlying shortage. Here's the most important twist. This video is not telling you what policies are right. That is a political question that reasonable people disagree on. This video is telling you what the data shows about what has and hasn't moved the affordability needle. In markets that have tried various approaches, understanding the data is different from endorsing any political position. 11 out of 12 major cities, median income cannot afford median home. Not because of personal failure, because of 3 structural forces that have operated for decades across multiple countries simultaneously. This video just opened a window for you. You've seen the structural forces, what has worked, what hasn't, and why personal finance decisions alone cannot fully solve a structural problem. What you do with that window is completely yours, because everyone's situation is different. One question before you go. Did you understand why housing became unaffordable before this video? Drop it in the comments. Next week, how landlords got rich while renters got stuck. The data behind the wealth transfer that happened in housing markets over the past 3 decades. Subscribe, hit the bell. See you next week. Educational content only, not financial, legal, or real estate advice. Always consult a qualified professional in your area.